United WFC. Hello and welcome to All For United with me, John Foster, MUFC. Slightly different show tonight. No Matt, no Gareth. They're having a week or two off. It's the summer, probably getting ready for the Euros. So me and Connors thought that we would jump in, and who else would we talk about today than Stourbridge? So we welcome a few different people. So let's say hello to everyone. First of all, Connor, how you doing, mate? You okay?
Yeah, all good, all good. Be good to talk something a little bit different today. It's been a while since last. I think we did the last Stourbridge show at Christmas, I believe. I think it was over Christmas time. So yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah, it has been a while. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Thank you to everybody in the comments. I'll put your comments on screen. I can see quite a few familiar names in the comments already. Callum, how you keeping, mate?
Yeah, good, mate. Really looking forward to this. Just talking football for an hour. You don't get many opportunities, but yeah, really looking forward to it.
And that's exactly what these shows are. It's just a few mates just talking about football, asking a few questions, raising a few debates, answering a few people in the comments as well. It's really is interesting to see. It's really good. Andy, how you doing, mate?
Oh yeah, evening. You okay?
Yeah, very well, thank you. Thanks for joining us and obviously arranging the guests as well. So thank you very much for that, mate. Mil, thank you for joining us. How you doing?
A bit nervous, but I'm excited.
So we've got two Mills. We've got 2 Mills. We've got one behind me and one on screen as well. So plenty to go around. We'll do a few introductions in a bit because obviously there's people in the comments that might not know who everybody is. So we will kind of introduce each other. But I can't even keep up with the comments. This is like one of the first times where it's hard to get everyone on screen. But we can see Josh in there as well. We've got Josh. Esme, nice of you to join us. I'll put them all on screen. I'll read out the ones where I can. But yeah, let's just for anyone who doesn't know who's who, Callum, do you want to tell us a little bit about what your previous role, not the breaking news today, but what this talk about this season just gone. What was your role, mate?
Well, it's a bit here, there, and everywhere. But yeah, the main part of my role was the head of girls section. That's what I was employed initially as. So just overseeing the junior section and being, that little bit of a combination between the women's section and the junior section, and that type of thing. But that soon escalated quite quickly. Jumped into women's academy coach, and also helped out with the development across the season. So kind of like a multi-purpose wipe. I'm just used wherever people need me.
Thank you. Yeah, thanks for coming on. Andy, you've been on the show 2 or 3 times, but for any All For United fans who don't know who you are, first of all, tell everyone who you support. That's a good way to get everyone on your side.
I don't know if I want to say that after this season. Man United, of course. Man United through and through. And I'm the Stourbridge women's first team manager, head of the women's section over the development team and the 18s as well. So, yeah, good to see you all.
Excellent. And Mil, who are you?
The amazing centre forward for Stourbridge Ladies with the headband on.
There you go.
And the singer, obviously.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny you should say that because we'll have some fun and games later. Don't worry, I'm not going to make you sing. Don't worry about that. But yeah, absolutely. Yeah, great. Thank you to everybody in the comments already. 26 people watching lives, just as good as a Man United show on a Monday, Thursday night. So great to see plenty of people supporting Stourbridge tonight. We're going to break the show up a little bit, so we'll talk a little bit about the season that's just gone. Obviously, so many success stories. Richard in the comments has put a few up already, and I know we're going to put a few more up throughout the week or two. Loads of things to talk about there. Halfway through, we'll have a bit of fun and games, just talking and including your teammates a little bit. Some quick fire questions there. And then the second part of the show, I want to get into some serious subjects with Cal's new role and talk how important that role is to the club and also the women's football pyramid in general. So let's start off on the season just gone. Then Connor, it was yours first season following Stourbridge, as mine as well. Did you ever think it was going to be as enjoyable? I think that's a good word. Enjoyable is one good word we'll use at the moment, as it has been.
I don't really know how to answer because, I mean, obviously for me it's a little bit different because, you know, it's not just down the road for me. You know, it's a lot of the games are well over an hour. You know, so I didn't expect to get as hooked as I was. You know, I think what was the first game we went to? Was it Kiddie at home in the FA Cup qualified?
Yeah.
I think, or like the earlier rounds. I think it was back. I don't even know when that was. October time, I think it must have been. It must have been because United played Birmingham women's away that late that evening, so it must have been October time. But yeah, it has been enjoyable. I think I said to you on a numerous occasions, John, it's good to see a team. You know, ultimately you go to support the team and you want them to win, but not only that, it's everything that goes with it as well. It's no different to a United experience. You know, we talk all the time about United as more than just going to the game. It's the experience of the day as well, and I think that's what we've incorporated. You know, Josh in the comments and Andrew as well, go into those games, you know, and talking to the people around Stourbridge. I think it's all part of the day as well. So it has been enjoyable. You know, just watching the team grow as well, because, you know, watching them at the start of the season, the few games we went to then, to what we've seen at the end of the season, the run, it's been incredible. So yeah, it has been really enjoyable to watch, and like I said, it's only the start really, you know, moving forward into next season as well.
It's obviously got the precise date, literally within seconds. Excellent stuff. I just described it as enjoyable. There's so many other words. Andy, if you could sum up the season, how would you kind of say it in a word or two? You're muted. Sorry, Andy, you're muted.
Should be used to that with work. I suppose for me, a dream come true. You know, I said it to the players in the final game on Sunday. It's been a long road for me as a project, you know, and interrupted by many things. So just a dream come true to be in the position that we're facing now, and really excited.
I remember speaking on here before Christmas, and I think it was probably the first show that I did with you, Andy, and I don't think I really knew you personally back then. I know we had G on the show as well, and I think I probably spoke to you about what your ambition was, and I'm sure you had to kind of say, well, you know, you want to challenge for trophies and promotion, and, you know, maybe you truly believed that at the time, or maybe it was something that you're saying, but you've certainly achieved that now. I mean, how does that make you feel to look back and think, right, I wanted to achieve this, and you've achieved it, and probably, in my opinion, you probably superseded what you actually set out to do as well.
Yeah, I'd like the County Cup final as well, though. No, you know me by now. You know, it wasn't ever just a throwaway comment. It was never just one of these that it was, you know, oh, we can do this, but we might not. And it was always, this has been the plan over the last 3 years. Interrupted slightly, as I've mentioned already, by COVID. So when I said that to you early on, you know, the ambition and the goal and the target actually was, you know, it was the semi-final of the County Cup, it was the League Cup, and it was the league, and you know, the FA Cup was going to be a journey, which we did, you know, well over where we expected to be. So for me, it was the goal, it was the target, and I never. I'm going to say I never felt it was not going to happen. I'm going to say that. There were times a little bit touchy at times, but for me, I always had the faith that these girls were going to put us through. I really did.
Yeah, I think that's the advantage that you've got as a manager as opposed to a fan, because one, I didn't really know the players until this season anyway, and two, you get to see them in training. You know, so you kind of know what you can get out of them. Whereas as fans, you know, obviously towards halfway through the season, you start thinking, yeah, these are actually really good players, but obviously you would have known that before me. So, you know, I'm looking at Sutton's results, I'm looking at Lisfield's results, and then I'm looking at Stourbridge results. They're all just like very similar. Obviously, Stourbridge scored a few more goals, but points tally-wise, it was all very similar. So I didn't really have much to go off. Whereas obviously you got to see the players, you know, day in, day, well, week in, week out, 2 or 3 times a week. So you had that.
Yeah. Not just the players, the old setup, obviously, you know, from day one, but also over the last year and the growth of it all. And, you know, as we're going to touch base tonight, bringing certain personnel, you know, it's easy for me, and I'll say this, and I've said this, I'm quite humble, really. It's easy for me, sat here as manager, to take all that, but it doesn't happen without the people I've had around me, and Cal being one of them. Mike Harris, 100%. You know, I generally believe, and I've said it many times, we've got probably the best grassroots coaching around us in my parish. I generally believe that, and I've said that for years. So it's just the old setup, really. That for me, I knew, was going to add then onto the quality that I had out on the pitch and the squad strength, really.
Just as a follow-up question to that, it kind of to you, Andy, and to Mill, or to Callum as well. Was there any point where you thought this is over now in terms of we've already won it? Did your mindset ever switch? I know as players and coaches, you're always trying to think, no, it's next game. But like realistically, did you ever think when we won that certain game, that's it now, we should have it from here?
Lie down. Lie down, everybody, mate. I'll jump in first and then Mel can. I never have been like that. I've always said to Michael tell you, I've sat in the change room and it could have been top versus bottom, and bottom with 8 players, and I'd still be thinking the worst. That's the way I think. That's the way I do my day job. That's the way I work. This club, and I think sometimes that's positive. It is a negative because I'm always stressed all the time. But for me, it was never done until that Lie Town game, because even playing Lie in that game, anything could have happened. I suppose that the time when I felt it had turned in our favour was, Jonathan, you came down when we beat Kidderminster, and I think City of Stoke had pulled the result off to Sutton. I felt the tide turn then, and I felt, right, okay, actually, this can be done beforehand. So for me, I never felt it was 100% done until we actually did it. I don't know about Mill.
Yeah, I totally agree with Andy. I think it was that when we had Kiddie away, and then I think Meg Adley come up to me and was like, this is the City of Stoke score against Sutton. And then everyone was just screaming, because I think that was like the time we were like, right, got this. It was like when Sutton dropped points, so we were like all buzzing. And then I think it was just onwards and upwards from there, I think.
Cal, how about yourself, mate?
Yeah, I think I'm with Andy, really. It's that until it's there and it's mathematically yours. I think I was in a place that football's a cruel game, and I think I spoke to Andy Bullingham at one point, and he says that there's still things happening, and I think it was at the Lie game that we were, as soon as it was mathematically ours, that was when I think a lot of weight came off everybody's shoulders, and it was just like, I think it wasn't even just a season of heart. It was a good couple of years, and even for Andy, since being there at the start, like it just feels like a massive weight off everybody's shoulders at that Lie game.
I think for me, it's when I started to see the other two teams started to drop points and then drop more points, and I was thinking, flipping out, this is actually, possibly going to happen here. I always felt like that Stourbridge was going to continue to do well, maybe drop points in maybe one game, but to see Sutton and Litchfield drop points, I thought, they can't keep up, and it was great to see. Cal, sticking with yourself on that original question, then how would you describe last season? Because obviously you had a different role to, from a fan's point of view and from Andy's point of view. How did you kind of see the season from your perspective?
I think I saw it from kind of like a back foot, and I was seeing things a little bit different to how Andy and Mike were seeing it. And I think for me, I was chewing a little bit that I really wanted to be part of it. And, obviously we spoke about being connected across the club, but I think it was just, I felt the emotion. And if I was feeling that emotion, I know supporters were feeling it. I know that the junior section were feeling those emotions as well. So I think it was really nice because I was being exposed to it as and when. And obviously with how closely me, Andy and Mike worked together, and obviously Bully and Pountney, I think it was really nice that we could replicate that across the club. And I'll always say, the girls at the bottom are coming through, and the girls at the top are their role models. So why not pass on the emotions? And, it's just fantastic what's happened at the top, but it's really nice to feel at the same time. And obviously from a not being directly involved with the coaching all the time, it was unbelievable. I think the emotions ran very much high, and I felt every bit of stress that Andy did, because every time we spoke, I just felt everything, which for me in football is everything.
Mel, just touching on what Cal said there, like you being a role model for some of the youngsters in the Stourbridge team, like the academy and younger. How does that make you feel?
Oh, fantastic. Yeah, now good. Yeah, I'm glad. I'm glad they do.
Yeah. I know you got one fan in particular who's got a headband as well. Who's
Oh yeah. I gave her as a present. I think we were playing Lie, I think, and I thought, because I think she posted about me. I think wanting to be like me or something. So I thought, give her a little present, and yeah, ever since she's just every time I see her, she's like, I'm still wearing the headband every game. So yeah, it's lovely to see.
I've seen her videos on Twitter. She's a good goal scorer. I've seen her run with that ball. She's a quality player.
Yeah.
She's already got a contract, John. We've already sent a contract to her house.
Excellent. Anything
Mike's got her signed up for the academy.
How's your season gone, Mel?
Yeah, incredible from the get-go. I think since my very first game, I think I started off slow, not confident. Like, I was just absolutely like pooing myself every time I was playing the game because I just thought I was playing tense, I think. But then I think as soon as like I got on, I like started getting to know all the girls and everything like that. It was a massive difference from then until now. Like now I'm just flying. Like I just feel like I'm just playing so much more confident. Now we're getting on with all the girls and just loving it. Like I've loved every single minute of it.
Now you're thinking, how I want to coach with 30 people, 50 people.
I was. Yeah, it was all right.
Well, let's talk about that. When obviously you joined, obviously there will be other players joining this season. That's what happens in football and transfer windows. What advice would you kind of give to any new player coming in? And do you want to kind of maybe like share your experiences about like what went well when you joined the club?
Yeah, I think the most important thing is obviously trying to fit in. I think is the massive. Obviously, Stourbridge compared to the other teams I've been with is more like it's proper. You can have a massive social side on it. So like obviously the clubhouse is a massive thing. Like going there on a Sunday and everyone comes together. I think that's a massive part of it. I think it gets everyone closer and everyone's getting on and stuff like that. And I think just playing, just obviously just no pressure, like not putting too much pressure on yourself. Because I think at the start of the season, I think that's what I was doing. Obviously after being at West Brom, I think I was putting just too much pressure on myself and like trying to do well. But I think when you're playing without the pressure, I think you just fly by. And obviously with the support of Andy and Mike and Cal and Harry and everyone, that's what they've gave me it's massive. And all the girls supporting me, like G and Amy, I think after every game, they both come up to me and say like, "Oh, Mel, you've done brilliant." And I think from the get-go, they've just been supportive the whole way through it. So I've just loved it.
I do want to talk a little bit about that team spirit, and I'll ask Connor first, and Andy and Josh in the comments. Feel free to share your opinions, and I'll come to yourself in a bit, Andy. But Connor, we're not used to being around an environment with like players in the team, are we? Obviously, we say hello to Man United players at the end of the game, as every other fan does. But we've been privileged, thanks to you, Andy, for inviting us in, and thanks to everybody else for making us feel so welcome. We've actually been a part of the Stour family, and that's why I do always hashtag it out. And it really is a great environment to be in. But Connor, do you just want to kind of say what your thoughts on that, the togetherness of the actual team and the club itself?
Yeah, I think it's very evident. It's evident on the pitch and off it. When you watch the games, when somebody scores, there's not a single player that doesn't rush to the huddle, so to speak. And you see that on the pitch and you see it off it. I think, Andy, I messaged you actually like a week after maybe the season ended or something. It was around the end of the season time. Because like you said, John, we're used to it kind of with United. We speak to a couple of people in and around United, but you're never going to get, that with, with United, and obviously to have that with Stourbridge as well. But I think you see it online, you see it on Twitter, and everything else that when games finish, everyone's interacting with each other, like all positive about each other. Even when there was a couple of losses earlier on in the season, obviously when the FA Cup run came to an end, didn't matter. Everyone's interacting and sharing like positivity with each other. And it's not just the first team. You said some people in the development squad as well. It just does feel like it's not just. Whereas some clubs you can watch and you think there's separate teams. You've got men's side, women's side, development side, under 18, whatever. It doesn't feel like that. It feels like every kind of facet of the club is linked in some way. So it goes back to club structure. You know, I wish United had a better club structure. I mean, that's a whole conversation in itself. But you know, it goes back to that, doesn't it? And about how it helps the productivity of the teams as well, because if you've got a negative club structure, that's never going to help your team. So having that good club structure and the positivity and the links between each individual team is only going to help the performances on the pitch.
Andy, I guess that comes from the top, doesn't it?
Yeah, it has done since I can remember, more so than ever now. But absolutely, it's fed right the way through from Andy and Andy at the top, right the way through to the girls, to the younger girls. And for me, it's togetherness that's won us the league. We've had some absolute challenges pretty much in every game. You know, I've said to the girls in the dressing room, it's been a year. It's been a year of challenges. You know, you look back at the first home game of the season. Who do we get? Who do we get in the first game of the season? Kidderminster Harriers, newly promoted, local derby. Who do you get second in the league? One of the favourites, second in the season. One of the favourites, Lichfield. The challenges just kept coming and coming. Every game had a little bit of personality to it. Every game had a little, right to the end, right to Sutton Coldfield on Sunday. So, we had to face those challenges, and I genuinely believe that togetherness that's built from the top right the way through to the management, the middle management, the staff who are together right into the ladies' team. It's got us over the line, is my opinion, as well as other factors, of course.
Just read out Josh's comment here. It's what's amazing from the club. It's the whole ethos from top to bottom. It's a brilliant place to be around. Absolutely, we discussed this, away from you guys about how happy Stourbridge makes us feel. And it's a bit different, I suppose, for Josh because he's a Birmingham fan, so he's not got too much to be happy about. But I do understand. that he's absolutely right. The amount of happiness that Stourbridge give, and I'm sure even next season, we'll drop a few more points compared to what we dropped this season. But we're still going to be happy. It's that whole environment, and anyone who does end up joining the club in whatever role, I'm sure they're going to be a happy person, aren't they? Let's talk a little bit about favourite moments of the season then. So I know I'm putting you on the spot here. I'm sure you might have a few, but Cal, start off with yourself. Is there anything that comes to mind, whether it be a game, a moment, or what are your thoughts?
I think for me, it's got to be the derby. In terms of the cliche of it being a complete cup upset, but Andy speaks about it all the time. It's how we all woke up. It was really weird. We all woke up with the same mentality that there's something happening here today, and I think just the big away days, the stuff that they're going to have to get used to in the National League, but it's things that then some of them have never experienced before. And I think with the collectiveness and you've spoke about it, the togetherness of the group. I mean, they're absolutely fantastic. I've never worked with a group of players like them, but that derby day, just going away with them, and even socially, it was just a break from everything. You forget everything that's going on in your lives, any problems, work. You forget about it for a day, and you go out. They perform the way that they did. And just to come back in the feeling that we did and the celebrations, I've never experienced that. Never experienced that feeling of nothing else matters but that day and that result and these people around me. And I will speak very highly of that day for the whole of my footballing career.
I think with that derby game, not only were the two tiers higher, they were actually flying at that time as well. I mean, I think they were in the top 2 or 3 at the time. And obviously they ended the season quite well, but when they lost it to you, they did take that slump as well. I'm not too sure reasons behind that, but that was a massive win. And then you obviously backed it up winning Cambridge as well, also in a higher league than yourselves. It took Sheffield United, the Championship side, to get one over on us, which is just crazy to think that you're tier 5. You overcome so many obstacles there. Kind of come to you for the next. Have you got a highlight of the season?
Sorry, I was not expecting you to come to me there. I was still thinking. It's difficult for me because I've not been at that many games. So I think I think the Derby game, even though I wasn't there, and I think it's because I don't know if you remember, John, obviously in the Ulf United chat, like the day before, we were all kind of chatting about this. And there was a lot of people in there who were, not connected to Stourbridge in any way, that were just saying, "Yeah, Derby have won this easily." And me and you were the only, and Andrew obviously in the chat, were the only three people who were going, "They can win this. There's always a chance." And everyone's, no, it's over, it's done, whatever. And then the next day, obviously, the euphoria from me and you in the chat, going, "John, they could do this." There's like 5. I remember because I think you were working, and I was constantly keeping you updated. Like, it's the 90th minute, it's the 91st minute, it's so on. So I think, that one for me, even though I wasn't there, I think it's going to be the highlight of most people seeing it that's connected to Stourbridge because it was such a big win. There's been a couple of memorable ones that I've been at. The couple of Worcester games, obviously, comfortable wins in that respect. Yeah, so I can't really pick a favourite game that I've been at purely because I've not been at that many. But I think definitely the Derby one I think is going to stand out for most people. But also the Cambridge one is worth a mention as well because it's very well doing it once, then to go again and to beat another team from a higher league. That's an incredible achievement.
For myself, if we talk about like the actual games themselves, I think I'm going to lean towards the ones where they're really tight and like you just wishing that one goal. And for me, it was Lie away in the cup. So I think it was like 1-0 down, and it was a high-profile game. It's a sensitive game anyway, away from football. So I think maybe it was quite an emotional day for a number of reasons that day. However, going 1-0 down, Lie playing all the dirty tricks under the sun to time waste and this, that, and the other to finally, and I don't blame him by the way. I would have probably done the same if I was them. To eventually get a goal back and then score, and then I think score again. Was it 2 or 3-1 in the end? I think that was one that always stands out to me. Tamworth away, going 1-0 down or 1-1 for quite a while, and eventually getting that winning goal. These are the ones that stand out for me. Obviously, it's great to watch us win 5, 6, 7, 8, 9-0, but the game's kind of over in the first half. These two games where we have to dig in, something that we're going to have to get used to as well, going into next season. Those are the games that always stick out for me. Andy, what about yourself, mate?
Every game. There's a few. Obviously, I get a little bit more in depth, knowledge because I kind of know what's going on behind the scenes. I think the Derby definitely. I was asked that question today in prep for the presentation. And I said Derby because you can't forget that day, and Cowles summed it up. There was a feeling on the day. Obviously, Skipper's goal, Mill's goal, Alex's goal. I actually watched at the weekend Alex's goals back and Mill's goals back. They're absolutely incredible. I hadn't seen the footage of those goals because I didn't realise we've got the VO on the far side. So you got a better view of Mill and Alex's goals, and they're just incredible. And then the Skipper's goal, obviously. I'll bring up a moment to that day actually, which I think was quite pivotal. And we arrived at the Derby game, and I think it's quite interesting because we experienced two different factors within that FA Cup run. We experienced where we turn up to Derby, and I felt an air of arrogance from our opposition, who were a little bit. We didn't belong to be there. There was a bit of a difference in the warm-ups. I felt like we were relaxed and calm. They were having a bit of a laugh, and the referee come over to me, and he was like, "Oh, you're not going to enjoy your big day out."
Oh.
And you can imagine what I'm like at that point. Yeah. But I fed it back in. I fed it back into the change rooms. I said, this is what the referees just said. And obviously what happened, and arrogance didn't prevail. And we did what we did. Not through luck, through pure talent. And the girl who's on the screen next to me was a massive part of that day. Without Mill Rogers, as well as the others, don't get me wrong, but Mill Rogers, massive part of the game plan. And I go over to celebrate with Andy, and Andy Pound is like, "How about that for your big day out, fish?" Right in front of the referee as he's walking off the pitch. So just little moments like that, it's great. But you've hit for me, Jonathan, probably the one that stands out, and I'll tell you why, is the Tamworth game. Carly Aldridge scoring that really key goal, and I think Mill got a couple on the day as well. We'd lost to Sutton the week before. Remember, we'd lost. It was the only loss in the league. Few players arrived late to Tamworth. I think G had forgot her boots. Sorry, G. just before the time, and it just felt we got a bit of an hangover, and I felt it in the dressing room. And it's probably one of the only times, Mill will tell you, where I've absolutely just lost it with them at half time because we were 1-0 up. There was a bit of arguing going on, a bit of, it was just a bit tense. And I remember just going at them at half time. And they came out, and would you believe it, we conceded a free kick, as happened. But no, we were a different team second half. We conceded the free kick, but we were just a different team. And then Cardi, a bit of quality from Cardi, cuts inside, scores a really key goal, and I'm running on the pitch and getting booked, and you lot are behind me and all sorts. So I remember, Mill ran down the line celebrating to their management. I remember that.
Yeah.
So it just had a really good feel about it. It was really important because we got we'd come out that first half against them, and Sutton was tough the week before. So for me, that one stands out as well.
And that comment that Esme's put on the screen is what put Mill on the map for me. So obviously, I didn't really know many of the players before. I didn't really know the capabilities or much about them. I was still trying to put names and Twitter accounts to faces on the field. And when Mill done that, I was like, oh yeah, okay. And I'll always remember one of my first memories of Mill would have been that. So I'm thinking, fair play, backing up your manager there.
Don't worry, and got you always.
Absolutely. What's one of your favourite moments, Mill?
Yeah, it's got to be the Derby day, 100%. I think because I think from the coach journey on the way there, I think everyone was just up for it. But I think everyone was like a bit nervous. But I think we're all like getting together and trying to like release our stress by just singing our hearts out on the way to Derby. And then in the change rooms, like Andy's team talk was like, I think that got us all going, and and having like a bit of a joke and that at the warm up, I think that helped a lot as well. And then I think when Alex Nicklin scored that amazing goal to make it 2-1, I think that's when we all started to relax, I think. And then Court's goal at the end was just incredible. And then the journey back was definitely one of the best moments at Stour. I think every single person had a bit of a karaoke, and everyone tried, and then everyone joined into Halo, which made my day. And then we all stayed at the club till about early hours in the morning, and then hanging the next day. But I think that was definitely one of the best days of my life.
Yeah. Andrew's got a comment on here. I'm going to shout this one out as well. Meg Hadley scoring her first goal for the club against Worcester City under light warm Memorial Ground. Yeah, I remember that one really well as well. Great to see. Yeah. Just before we break up a little bit, and I'll put a couple of videos on the screen. Andy, what's Mill brought to the team this season?
Beautiful singing voice.
You
should show it. You should show everybody. No. As I said, the Derby game. I mean, Richard's put on a comment, hasn't he, about Mill was here to bring goals, and it may not be that Mill's that's been the top goal scorer of the season, but what she's done in and around for everybody else has just been exceptional. She's added goals, of course she has, but that Derby game for me summed it up because when you've got a player like Mill, when you're defending, tactically defending, you get the ball up the field, and she bullied those girls. She bullied tier 3 footballers who've been, who are very strong, very, very physically strong, very good players, and she absolutely held around. She held the ball up for us to get players up the pitch, and she didn't do that. We didn't get Alex Nicklin up the pitch, we didn't get Esme up the pitch to win the ball back, we didn't get Anna Fishwick up the pitch. Courtney's. It was just Mill Rogers summed up for me, and she's right in what she said. Really, I remember. It was I hadn't seen a play. I'd seen videos of Mill when we were talking, and it came through Mike really through the academy, and Mike was like, Mill Rogers, we've got this girl, she's going to bag your goals. We've done a little bit of research, we've got some footage, and I remember meeting with Mill and her dad and Andy because we knew she was going to be absolutely important for us. And she's right in what she said. She put a lot of we put a lot of pressure on her. Young girl, she's coming to the club. You're going to be our main striker. You're going to go and win us the league. And the first time I saw Mill Rogers at probably one of her best was we played a friendly behind closed doors in a sense against Wolves Devs over at Wolves, and she was just unplayable. She was brilliant. Even Wolves, Macca was messaged her and said how good she was, and I think that just summed it up for me. So for me, all round, it's just been a build-up play. What she's doing, how strong she is, winning the ball back for us, just everything. And I genuinely believe this. Don't take this the wrong way, Mill. I don't think we've seen the best of her. I think we've got 20% more to come out of her, and I think as she settles in and she commits more to Stourbridge, which she will do, I'm sure. And we commit more to her. I think we've got an hell of a player on our hands here, an hell of a player. We're very lucky. I'm very lucky to have her.
Yeah.
Keep it coming on. Keep it coming.
Well, Connor's going to speak next, so go on, Connor. Your thoughts on what you're seeing from Mill this season?
Yeah, I mean, Andy's talking there. I'm supporting the Derby game, and I'm going to talk about a loss here. But West Brom, in the county, there's so many county cups, but yeah, I think it was one of the county cups, the 4-0 loss, because in that game as well, the hold-up play, and I've seen this a lot this season. I'm going to compare you to a player, Emil, but it's very Russo-esque for United. That kind of coming a little bit deeper, sometimes to hold the ball up in the low centre of gravity, just to have your back to goal and to hold on to the ball and be able to play on the turn. So, yeah, I think it's Mill will be able to say more than me, but I think it's been a fairly solid season. And like you said, yes, you brought in to score and that kind of thing, but you add to the team a lot more. So yeah, I think that's the benefits. But yeah, every time I've seen you, I think it's very Russo-esque. It's probably the easiest way, and for United fans watching this will know what I mean. I think that's probably the easiest way of describing it.
I thoroughly agree, Connor. The amount of strength that you show when you got your back to goal. I can't believe how many times that you just don't lose the ball. I keep thinking, you can't win it again. You can't keep it again. You do, and you find a pass, and you've constantly got 2 or 3 around you. It's fantastic to see. Carl, just finish up on this one. What does Mill bring maybe away from the actual game itself? Maybe just being a part of Stourbridge Football Club, or what you see of her when you went not on match days potentially.
She's just a lovable character. I think I can either see the head swelling, Mill, but she's a phenomenal person to be around. I think she just, even if we'd got battered or we lost or somebody's had a bad day, full well that Mill's there. Just her characteristics off the pitch and she's 2 different people. On the pitch, she's nasty to play against. She's somebody that you want on your side but hate playing against. But off the pitch, she's just so lovely to be around. Always got a smile on her face, and every time we see each other, it's the first thing we do is smile at each other. It's like that cheeky smile. So I think she brings that extra bit of charisma and that little bit of morale. It all connects, but Mill's part of that. She's 1 in a million in terms of what she brings off the pitch. You don't get many players singing Halo at the top of her voice on the way back on a coach down a microphone. So, she's different, but she's fantastic. She's her characteristics.
Absolutely. We're going to break it up a little bit here. I'm going to play a couple of 3 videos. There's Man United contributors on this channel who also been supporting Stourbridge this season. Obviously, we couldn't get everyone on the screen. There's a few of them in the comments, but I am just going to play just a couple of 3 videos just for you to listen to right now.
Congratulations to Stourbridge Ladies football team on your brilliant season, achieving a league and cup double, and all the hard work put in by the management, the players and everyone else to make this such a successful season. So it's been a pleasure to watch since coming to my first game back in October, and I'm looking forward to next season when we're in the National League. So yeah, up the Stour.
Hi everyone, I'd like to just congratulate everybody at Stourbridge Ladies Football Club on such an amazing season this year. Doing the double has been brilliant to witness and be a part of. I cannot wait for next season, especially the away days, because they are going to be out of this world. From the first game that I come halfway through the season up until the end of the season, it's just been brilliant to be a part of and witness. From the players to the management staff to the coaches to the staff involved on a day-to-day basis with the club, they are all such amazing people. Going down, watching some of the games this season have been brilliant. The football that you witness has been awesome. It's made me fall back in love with football again, which has been amazing to be a part of. I cannot wait for next season. Up the Glass Girls.
Hi, Anthony here. Just wanted to wish everyone involved with Stourbridge, from the management and to the girls mainly, for a huge season that they had. Double winners, a great achievement. I I didn't get to see you much, but what I got to see of you was great. To beat the likes of Derby, what an achievement. So huge congratulations, and I hope you can build on that success next year with the promotion up to the next league. So, but before I go, here's a couple of songs. We'll sing in the sun, we'll sing in the rain. We're Stourbridge, we're winning again. Ooh, super mill, super mill, super mill, super Millie Rogers.
You gotta love Anthony. You gotta love Anthony. Yeah, Andrew, Josh, thanks for sending them clips through today. I hadn't thought about asking them today, but yeah, you got fans all over the country coming to watch Stourbridge now, so I'm definitely hooked for life. We're just gonna play a game for 5 minutes, just to give ourselves a bit of a breather before we ask Callum and start drilling Callum on his new role. We're going to ask 10 questions. Me and Conner will just divide it between us. Really quick 5 questions. Each of you can give your own answer. Feel free to give a quick 5-second reason behind it as well. I might throw an answer in as well. Some of them is football related, not many. I don't think many of them are football related, but it's just a bit of fun. It includes your teammates as well, who's probably listening. So let's get straight to it. Shall I do the first one, then you do the second one, Conner?
Yeah, because I can't read your writing on the first one, so yeah, you have to go for it.
I was sitting with my legs up when I was doing this, actually. Okay, then first question. What we'll do is Callum, you answer first, Mill, then Andy. Callum, Mill, Andy. We'll just go around like that. So, Callum, first player on the dance floor. Who is it?
It's got to be either Hannah Fishwick or Mill Rogers.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably say Han or Ez.
Mill.
I'll say Hannah, just from the
Yeah, it's
past
got to
few
be
days. Conner, can you read that one?
I hope so. I'm going to give this a go, by the way. I'm reading off John's writing here. I think it says, if you had to rely on one player to get the food orders in, who are you going to?
Oh, good question. I think it'd have to be Ez. I think Ez for me would have to be my choice.
It's probably got to be Neve or Court. Neve or Court for me.
Neve for me.
I'd have said Ez, probably.
Number 3, who never gets a round of drinks in?
Harry. No, I'm joking. I don't actually know.
Harry, is it
I'm going to go with Harry. Yeah, I'm going with Harry.
I'm saying Harry all round.
Honestly, that guy gets everyone else gets him a drink and he just disappears. Harry, ridiculous.
Again, I'm sorry, John, if I got this wrong. I think it's who wouldn't you want to get a lift to the game with? So, i.e., who's the worst, or who you think is the worst driver?
I was thinking more of the karaoke. I was going to say Mill. Good question. I'll go with Mill, just because in terms of the karaoke. I don't know about driving.
Oh, it's got to be Meg Bailey from Devs. It's got to be.
Why, Meg?
Yeah.
She's awful. She drives too quick. She shouldn't be driving.
Yeah, Mike for me. I travelled with him on Sunday. Jeez, that was scary.
Yeah. Okay, yes. Okay, so here's one. It's like a 2-part one. Who's the first one at training and who's the one that's always late?
Mill Rogers is always there first. She's always seems to be the first person, especially at Hingley's.
It's a travel, haven't you, surely, Bill?
But I have got to get there on time, Anna Jonathan.
Who's late? It's normally either Carly or Lil.
Yeah, I think Ruby's normally one of the first, and then I think it's got to be Hadders, Meg Adley, or always late and always an excuse all the time.
Yeah, Ruby, Lou Butcher, I think is normally there having a good time. Lil, Beth, all day long, late all the time since I've known her, and that's been years. Every session, by the way, every session. Good reason there.
So the next one, I believe, is whose parents shout the loudest on the sidelines?
I don't actually notice.
It's hard to have my voice than Mike's voice, let's be honest.
Yeah, I don't think I've noticed, in all honesty, so I wouldn't know.
I'd probably say, I don't know if you hear anything, but we stand next to Meg's dad quite a bit, so he's quite vocal next to me. Who do you hear, Mel, on the pitch?
Yeah, it's got to be Kenny or Mark Moran for sure. But they're both absolutely hilarious. They keep me going throughout my game, to be fair. Funny.
The skipper's dad, for me, always hear the skipper dad make a comment. Always, yeah.
Is it my turn? I can't remember. Oh, yes, it's mine, yeah. Who has the best nickname?
It's got to be Big Mac. It's got to be Al. Big Mac for me just does it.
Yeah, it's got to be, Al McGovern for sure.
Yeah, I like Sesh though. Esme, Sesh mate. She's a bit of a Sesh demon on a Sunday night, so Sesh.
Connor can't read question number 8, so I'll read it out. He's still learning. He's still learning.
Hang on, sorry, just quickly, John. If like Barry's comment, I see you've not brought it up. If only there was something you could have sent it across on, rather than writing it down and sending me the picture of the notepad.
I literally, this is one with a pen and paper. Apart from times like this, this one goes out to Fisher. Then, if you could have one player on the coaching staff, who would it be?
One player on the coaching staff. G Fucker. G Fucker, incredible girl.
Yeah.
Art in the right place. Coach the girls, went to watch their under-13s on Saturday, and it was like they'd just won the league, they'd just come runners up, and the way that she pitched it and got her girls, just incredible. G Fucker.
Who is the biggest poser and who's got the best fashion sense? Go on, Cal.
It's got to be Handfish. It's got to be. Turning up, she had Crocs on and socks on and a really baggy jumper.
Yeah, it's got to be Han. Aldi socks and a coloured Crocs, which shocks me.
Yeah, likewise. Anna Fishwick.
That's one, Connor.
Yeah, if I can try and read it, I think it says. Who's going to be the most drunk on Friday night?
Mill Rogers.
No, it's got to be either Fish, Ez, or Neve. Definitely always one of them, to be fair, Jonathan, every Sunday.
How about Mike? Mike's got a good one.
Yeah.
Point.
I want to move on. I want to talk about the announcement that came out on Twitter literally just about half an hour before we went live. Callum's got a role that really excites me, not just because of the actual role itself, but because of the direction the Stourbridge are going. It's a Tier 4 club now, not a Tier 5. We're going to get used to saying Tier 4. Andy, do you want to kind of introduce this? And then Callum, you just kind of tell us a little bit more.
Yeah. So today, obviously, we've known about it behind the scenes. Mike. Hi, Mike. We've known about it behind the scenes, but from a club perspective, it just kind of shows where we're going and what's needed. Andy and Andy acknowledge that, the way that they want to push the club forward and invest in, both sections. This is not just a women's thing. We need people behind the scenes that are pretty much working, quite full time. And Mike's doing a similar to this at the moment, but with some college stuff. But yeah, it's a much needed role. So Cal's role, has been made full time by the club. So I think he's actually the first ever proper employee by the club full time. I don't actually know what the role is in terms of job title. I'm going to say a minute, some kind of but it's going to be, it's a fantastic movement by the club as well as it is for a good friend of mine, which is Cal, and he's worked tirelessly over the last few years to get where he is now.
Community and admin role, Callum. What might
To be fair, we're still trying to come up with one job title. I think it just floats around as many. I was kind of speechless when Poutney and Bully brought it to me, just in terms of, what I was working towards, in terms of a job aspect. Going into University of Worcester and studying the way that I did to get to a position, and the things that I've gone through in football and being let down and false promises. We've all been through it. I think for me, it showed me that this is the club that want to actually invest in. And like Andy said, it's not just investing in me. Okay, they've probably seen that I'm quite versatile in what my skills set is, but in terms of creating a bigger bond across the club, not even just in the women's and the girls section, but in terms of the holistic club, it's bringing everything together. And they're willing to put that risk in, and if it will pay off, because I'll make sure it pays off. But it's how close this club is. But yeah, I don't know in terms of what my job title is going to be, because it's administrative. It's on the field as coach, but yeah, it's a fantastic role to be a part of.
Do you think, Cal, how good that is? The fact that obviously he was in talks when he was a Tier 5 team. The fact that the club are prepared to invest this money in just a full-time role in the women's sector of a Tier 5 team back then, I think it's just absolutely amazing. And I'm sure there's going to be so many clubs out there that are so envious of Stourbridge anyway. Being able to perform this kind of, adding this to the structure is just, it's just not surprising. It doesn't surprise me anymore. Nothing surprises me with this club, but it's just such an honour to be a part of the club that can do that.
Yeah, it was like we've all said. It was for me at the time. It was a shock that they were willing to do that full-time plonker. But I think it just shows where the club is going, and we always have a laugh at times, especially when I came into the junior section. We had like 3 junior teams, and now potentially we're doubling that, and potentially tripling. We've got the minis, we've got the Wildcats, and it's hard to think that at the start of that it was kind of like a 3 to 5 year plan to get all this in place, because obviously I was still working alongside it. And obviously, Andy, Mike, and myself had worked very closely together, and we were sprinting before we could even walk. But we've got the people around us to support, and the guys at the top have shown so many times that they're willing to support no matter what we do. They're willing to give us the backing, and it's not all about finances. They've backed us in every aspect that they can. They're constantly by my side in case I need something. So I think, for myself, and you alluded to it, Jonathan, it's where the club is going, and they're willing to back myself and the guys that are running the women's teams, that we can make a project out of it, and that we can, and we want to build a community hub. We want to go out and do some more stuff within schools, in community centres, in elderly homes. We want to give back a little bit more. And I think that's where this role will go once the time is right. But again, like you said, I'm ecstatic with the role. I'm a bit overwhelmed with what's with it all, because it seems to have changed. Everything seems to have changed in the last month or so, and also with promotion and everything else. But it's just unbelievable time to be involved with women's football, but with this football club. I've never felt the way that I feel right now at any football club.
I'm going to put Anthony's question on screen shortly, but Conner, we do plenty of shows talking about the lack of money in women's football and how certain, WSL teams or former WSL teams and should put more money in. And you look at like the Championship sides and Tier 3. We've gone on, we've been doing this show for, 20 months. We have had lots of conversations. Isn't it refreshing to actually see owners of a club building a structure that is able to invest?
Yeah, 100%. Oh, sorry,
Connor. Go on, Connor.
No, I was just going to briefly say, because you could argue some WSL clubs neglect their women's sides in terms of they've just created it because they felt like it's a tick in the box. You could argue. Sounds bad saying it on a United show. You could argue at the moment with the way that United's going that's why they created United. It's just for the tick in the box. But with Stourbridge, like I said earlier on, it's not. And I think there's a lot of Tier 3 sides that you look at and you think they're not really doing much to progress. They've got. I'm not going to go around naming all the clubs, but you've got big, massive clubs that have come. Obviously from the men's side historically, that are not really engaging in that kind of one club mentality that we kind of speak about a lot. yeah, like Cal said, yes, it needs money at the end of the day, it needs capital. Like I hate calling football business, but that is just the way that football is going. Every business needs the capital there, but it's the other things about going to the games, just being there. Andy will probably tell you, you three will know more than me about this, but being able to pick up the phone or speak to them, and being present, I think is also important, because you could be, an absolute billionaire on the end of the line just throwing money at things, but actually being there and being present, being part of the club as well, I actually think is equally as important as just throwing money at it. And also in relation to what Rich put in the chat earlier, we would love to see other clubs doing it as well. We talk about this when we talk about United. The way United fans are in the women's game. John, you go to grounds, everyone's looking at you going, why are you chanting what you're doing? Like, sit back down, because United, take a few hundred to away games and we make the noise. That's what you want to see here as well. You want other clubs to be doing the same, because only then will the pyramid get stronger. Because if you've got just one team doing it, the pyramid is not going to get stronger. You're just going to create a massive divide. So you need other teams around to be following the good examples.
I could make this a 2-hour show just by talking about this, but I am conscious of time. And I'm going to put him on the spot. Anthony's got a question in the comments. I know that you're probably ready for these kind of questions going forward, so I'm sure you'll have some sort of answer prepared for this one.
100%. 100%. I said it early doors as soon as we got promoted. We're not up there to make up the numbers, and it's as simple as that. The ambition was the National League. The fact of the matter is, we've done that in absolute. We've done that as better than we thought we were going to do it, and we've done it, and we did it early, and we've had a great cup run. We've beat teams in the higher division. So our ambition is we follow the momentum, and we'll go into pre-season. Me and Mike have already spoke. We go into and the gaffers and the people in charge, and we go into pre-season with the mind that we're going to go for the top and see if we can get tier 3. Do I think we need to add? Yes, we do. We need 3 or 4. However, we're not in a position to change the togetherness and everything that we've spoken about in this video today. This chat is about the togetherness of this group, and that can't be ripped apart. So what we will do is add a little bit more quality now, a little bit more experience of players who've played as well up in the higher divisions as well, and add to the quality that we've got. And I generally believe we can push for promotion in the division that we've seen. I think it'll be, and I've seen it today, I think it'll be a better competition than it has been for years. I think you've had in tier 4 and tier 3, you've had a couple of teams like Wolves and Bournemouth, Lincoln are obviously up there, who are kind of almost just stepped away a little bit from the rest of the pack. I ain't sure that's going to necessarily be the case. I mean, you look at the whole league this year, I think it's very, very competitive, every team. So I think we're in a really good chance. And if I was one of those teams, I'd be looking and thinking we're going to have to watch out for Stourbridge for sure.
Yeah. I'm just going to ask you just regarding pre-season, Andy, then we'll put an end to the show. What's the plans now for you and the squad going into that season, going into next season? Have you got anything lined up that you want to share with us?
Yeah, I mean, I ain't got the exact dates in my head, but a couple of friendlies. We're going away down to Aberystwyth for the weekend, 23rd and 24th of July. It's going to be a great weekend. I hope people can join us for that to play Aberystwyth on the Sunday. So that's a nice little away day for the team. We've got Albion and Stoke just before the season starts. We're still waiting for the confirmation of the season start date, but we go on last year's. It's going to be around the 14th of August. So just as we lead up to that date, like I say, a couple of big friendlies there with Albion and Stoke. The teams we want to push ourselves against. So we're still working on some other dates of pre-season as well. So it's exciting. We'll be back. They're going to get a break for a month. They deserve it. It's been a long old season for 5 games. And we'll be back just at the end of June, start of July in pre-season. Hopefully with the squad set, a couple of new players in, and we can hit the ground running, ready to go and win the National League.
Absolutely, yeah. We have come to the end of the show. Thank you to everybody in the comments. There's been a lot of you. Please share it with your friends, and it's great to see the Stourbridge lot getting, the recognition they deserve. It's really good to see. Callum, Mills, thanks for coming on for the first time. Hope you come back on throughout the summer or next season. Andy, thank you for organising it. Really do appreciate it. We have actually got an outro for the first time, so I'm just going to take everybody out of the screen and we'll just do a bit of an outro. But thank you to everybody for watching, and we shall see you again soon.
Thanks, guys.
Didn't even make a sound. I found a way to let you in, but I never really had it down. Standing in the light of your halo, I got my you now. It's like I've been awakened. Every rule I had to break it. It's the risk that I'm taking. I ain't never gonna shut you out.